How are you this Wednesday? It's hot, hot, hot. So we're on the back porch instead of the front porch, and we got company here. We got little Tulu, which is Judy P's little baby.
Look at this little devil.
You're not a devil, you're a baby, aren't you? Yeah, it's a sweetheart. Yes, we're dog sitting today. So she's kind of helping us along. So what's going on in the world? Are y'all getting those storms? I heard them say there was some really bad storms along the East Coast. And we're sitting here in 100-degree weather, but we haven't got any rain, which is surprising. You know, our rainy season started a few weeks ago. Well, actually, it started in June. But like I said, it's not rained every day like it used to. So I figure probably September we're probably really going to get it. But so far, you know, this week, I think we've had one day that it's rained, and it was just a sprinkling. It was at night, so there wasn't very much. And there's really not any prospects of anything until the weekend anyhow. So, which I don't care. I don't farm anymore, so I'm not crazy about whether it rains or not. But it would cool it down a little bit, I think. Oh, my. Well, I'm trying to find it. Trying to find y'all on the phone. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to YouTube.
Well, what do you think I was on?
Well, apparently not YouTube.
Well, there it is. Okay. Wow. Look here. Okay. Wow. Look here. Okay. Wow. Look here. Okay. Wow. Turn off the sound. Okay. I think we're good.
Miss Rizzo's here. Jerry Bell, Cindy G. I think, is this a new one? Dina Hayworth?
I don't know that. I've not seen that.
Hey, if you're new to this, you know, let us know. We're always interested in knowing, you know, who's new, who ain't new, and you're not even in the picture.
Oh.
Mark Ryan from Iowa. Yeah, like Sue was saying, I was watching the news this morning. I got up fairly early for me. Oh gosh. I know. I can hear the old jokes. Do that trick again where you open your mouth and made your head disappear.
Yeah. Oh. Hey,
but they were talking about tornadoes somewhere and flooding up in the Northeast, and Alabama had some problems somewhere.
Yeah.
It seems like the weather is just, if it's not stormy and raining and flooding and tornadoes, it's 120 degrees. It seems like that's the two choices we have in the United States now.
Yeah, I'm glad we aren't getting the rest of it, the tornadoes and stuff. That's, you know.
We're out here in Lanai again this week because it's just too hot outside.
The feel like temperature, or the heat index, as they call it, is supposed to be 111 today. It got close to that yesterday. So I said, yeah, I knew it was going to be worse today. So I thought this was the best bet. You know, maybe we won't shut off this way, and you can actually hear us, or I think you can. Seems like the mics are working. Oh yeah, KM says she can hear us both great. Deanna is in stormy Springfield, Missouri.
I've been to Springfield.
Yeah.
Home of Prime Trucking Company.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's where Prime started. I think they're still there. They got their own driving school. I hate to say it, but Prime is one of the reasons why the trucking industry has went to hell in a handbasket. Them
Uh-huh.
and the other one is Werner. They started their own driving school to teach them to drive their way, not the right
Yeah.
way. And I got to tell you, when I see a truck driver get out of a truck, he's got flip flops on, I just roll my eyes.
Oh, Scott Reed says it's raining in Kansas. Ron 5850, happy Porch Settin Wednesday. Yeah, it's
Raining in Kansas City, Scott Reed says.
yes.
Who's that, Kansas City, Kansas? Or
I don't
Kansas
know.
City, Missouri?
Well, you'll have to ask him.
Because there's
But I would say, since Deanna said it was raining there and he's says it's raining in Kansas, I'm thinking Missouri.
I've got a police officer that comes to this channel, and every time I make the mistake and say she's a police officer of Kansas City, Missouri, which that's really not a mistake. I do it just to irritate her. She always reminds me it's Kansas City, Kansas. They don't recognize Kansas City, Missouri.
Oh. Whistledown says it's been raining in Colorado every day. It's like we switched states. Yeah, it's weird weather this year. And I don't know whether you blame it on climate change. I know every once in a while we have it's like when you have a very heavy winter, a lot of snow and what have you, and they're blaming it on climate change. But I remember back years ago, and we have heavy winters this year, maybe not the next year, right?
Bill Rizzo said this is their 1 year anniversary since they purchased their home. Has it been a year already?
Yeah.
Sure
Well,
don't seem like it.
congratulations. Lisa, I hope you're still liking it as much.
Seems like only a few months ago I came over there and videoed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Jerry wants to know if that's a new hat.
No,
Well, I don't think you wore it very much.
no, I don't. I wear it because I got a blue shirt on. I got a blue hat, and I don't wear blue shirts all that often, so I just don't wear it that much. But it's not a new hat.
Yeah.
By the way, our neighbor has a son in Ohio that does all this for us. He does it for anybody, but he does all this for us.
Yeah.
The shirts, the hats, the coats, the jackets, the sweaters. I don't even know what all he
Yeah,
does.
they have a whole catalog full of things.
Yeah.
And I said they embroider them the way you want them, but
So if anybody wants if you need any of this stuff done and you don't have anybody to do your stuff in your neighborhood or ball club or bowling club, whatever it is, send me your email and I'll send you the contact info.
yeah, because they do a lot of stuff. And like I said, they're not just hats and T-shirts, like you said. There's a whole catalog full of stuff. There's jackets and hoodies. You name it, they've got them. And I've seen a lot of, ours is the Hillsborough Cranes because that's where we live. And I said, so they started doing it for the neighborhood. But they will do for anybody, they said. So just let us know if you want anything like that. They're very good at what they do. Harley John says you dressed down today.
I did?
I don't know. What is it, the black hat instead of the white one?
I don't know. I'm wearing the same old clothes I always wear.
Yeah, it's Hawaiian shirts. I think they're used to you wearing the polos.
Well, my T-shirts, I wear them a lot.
Well,
Matter of fact, I took it off this morning because I noticed there was a little spot up here, probably from food. And I thought, I can't wear this because there's people out there that they come to this thing, and I swear to God, they look for any little thing wrong and then send it to me like, oh, you didn't shave today, or oh, you got a spot on your shirt.
You guys tell him before I do. I get those dirty looks when I tell him. Cam says hot in Port St. Lucie. Yeah, honey, it's hot everywhere. It's just a weird year for weather. I am just hoping that it isn't a bad sign when it comes to the hurricanes. We're supposed to have more hurricanes this year than we've had before.
We don't talk about it.
Oh, okay.
You don't jinx yourself. It's like telling everybody, this truck has never caused me a problem. It's never broke down. I'm telling you, you just don't. If you don't want it to happen, don't talk about it.
Oh, my. Let's see.
Or St.
No,
Lucie.
Rickyard, we didn't win the lottery. Somebody did, though.
Not no $2 billion they didn't.
Yeah, somebody did.
You sure?
Yeah, it
Or
was
they
in the
just
paper.
win like $1 million like the ones last.
No, and it was in Florida. It was at a Publix.
I wonder if it was a homeless guy.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah, give the homeless guy $2 billion. It's all going to go to drugs, every bit of it.
Oh my gosh!
That's all that homeless people are, is a bunch of drug addicts. People need to start calling it what it is. You're never going to cure something if you live behind a curtain. And they keep saying homeless. That's just a political correct way to say a nice thing. 99% of the homeless people out there are drug addicts. Every one of them.
I mean, you've been very fortunate that you've never been in that position.
No, I just decided I didn't want to. They decided they did.
Okay. Jerry Bell says, Deanna Hayworth, welcome to the back porch. Yeah. Welcome, Deanna. And she said she was fairly new. Not new, but fairly new. So.
Where? What?
Fairly new.
Fairly new?
Yeah, you asked her if she was new.
Oh.
And she says she's fairly new.
I like to know who's new and who ain't, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I like it when a bunch of new people come. That shows that it's growing.
Yeah. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that like button. And like I said, we really, really appreciate it. And that way you'll be, if you hit the bell after you subscribe, they will tell you when our next video comes up.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, that's becoming real gawky for some reason. I don't know why, but I did figure out mine because I had my
one cookie.
I had my notifications turned off, and that's why mine didn't. Elaine Skursky, hi Elaine, and Ray Prokowski, N.O. from Richmond. How's Indiana? We haven't got there yet.
Too hot.
Well, I said our paper said it was 82 was their high today. No.
Gas prices are high too.
Yeah.
I think gas prices here, last time I saw them, was like $3.79.
It's coming down a little bit, but not much.
Oh, they're down $3.78.
Well, I don't know. I didn't even, Bob Bertolino says we will be there the second week of October. Well, yay! Are you coming down for a lifestyle visit or just rent a place? And I said, if you're planning on coming down to look at houses, bring your checkbook.
Brickyard Brickhead said, I guess you guys didn't win the lottery or keep it a secret. No, there'll be no secret about it. Let me win $1 billion. I'm having the biggest party here in the villages. I'm renting every rec center, and I'm inviting everybody to the party, and I'm having it completely catered by somebody.
Oh, he'd be so obnoxious. He really would.
I would. I would have the largest party ever. Then I'd sell my house and move out.
Oh my goodness.
John Wright, welcome to the appreciation level. Appreciate it.
My phone just jumped for some reason. Oh, and I'd like a special thank you to our moderators, who we could not do this without them. There's just too many people, and thank God they got our back. They're keeping an eye on everything, and we really, really appreciate it so much.
Yeah, the reason why we like to have a lot of moderators is because, especially like this time of year, it's vacation time of the year. I never know who's available to come on the show and help keep an eye on things and who's not. So the more we have, the more likely we are that we have at least 2 or 3 that comes to every show to help moderate it. And so, I don't know how many moderators I got last time I checked. I'm very picky about who I let moderate too. You just can't let anybody do it. But I think I had something like 12 moderators. And so at any given time, generally, there's always somebody that can show up.
Yeah, John says he can hear you chewing. Finish your cookies.
Oh.
Yeah. Hi, Joy. So good to see you. Yeah, they're asking how about Yellow Freight. Did you read about that?
Yeah, I know about it.
It
doesn't really surprise me because you have to go back years ago, back when I was still working. Yellow Freight, I think they filed bankruptcy or they was going to file bankruptcy many years ago. There was Yellow Freight, there was Roadway. I think both of them were having financial trouble. Yellow Freight was the biggest company in the whole United States. Less than a truckload company, I guess I should say, in the whole United States. And the two merged together to form a company called YRC. That stands for Yellow Roadway Corporation, YRC. So when Yellow went out, I sent a few emails out because I didn't understand it because I kept talking about Yellow Freight going out, Yellow Freight going out. My mind says, well, what about Roadway? Because that's a separate company. I know they made one company, but still, it was a separate company. And then I got emails back from Teamsters that tell me that they're all gone. So it ain't just really Yellow. It's Yellow and Roadway both are gone.
Yeah.
And that's not just the truck drivers. That's your dock workers, your office workers, your staff management. That's a big hit in our industry. And they say they don't think it's going to slow down anything. Why? Because we have a lot of foreign companies that come down here and bought American companies. And that's what's going to hurt them. Just like the company I retired from, UPS Freight. UPS Freight was sold to a Canadian company that also came down here. And I heard this just a few days ago. A Teamster sent me an email saying that same company that bought UPS Freight also bought one of the last old Teamster companies, ABF. So they're buying everything, and we're all like working for another country.
And if you don't know it, that our world basically runs by what these truckers bring you. You know, your food, your clothing, your furniture, everything is moved by these truckers. And like I say, it's a darn shame that 30,000 people laid off. That's a lot of folks, and that's just the beginning.
It might be more than 30,000
Yeah,
when I get the real head count, and all them people are going to be filing for unemployment. Who knows what they're going to have to do? I don't know what they're going to have to do, but I wish them well. Hopefully, the Teamsters is in the middle of this. Usually, the Teamsters, when it comes to Teamster members and office people becoming a Teamster member, is voluntary. They don't have to join. I always thought they should. I know that when I was working at UPS Freight, all the office staff joined the Teamsters. It just seemed like a safe thing to do for them. But now that they've lost their jobs, one of the things that Teamsters usually negotiated in different contracts, like UPS, all them different contracts is, they cannot hire nobody off the street if there's a laid off Teamster somewhere else. They have to offer them that job first. So hopefully half of these guys, at least half, will maybe find employment elsewhere.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll retire and come down here.
Well, if they can.
Yeah, if they can.
If you've been there for 40 years, like I know guys that's been working where I was working for 40 plus years, and they just can't seem to leave for some reason.
Well, yeah. A Whistledown says that her husband said that he's seen somebody unloading fuel in pajamas.
He's seen what?
He said he's seen a driver unloading fuel in his pajamas.
I say some of these so-called professional drivers nowadays, I wouldn't even consider them being professional anything. They would not be working for me if I had my trucking company. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
If you come to my house and you get out of one of my trucks and you got flip-flops on, I'm just going to tell you, go ahead and get your diapers and everything else out of that truck and just go on home. I don't need you to come back.
Yeah. Let's see. Gringo Loco says 78 and breezy on the other side of the volcano.
Where?
On the side of the volcano. You know where Gringo Loco is.
Oh, yeah, he's in Costa Rica.
Yeah. He said it's 78 and breezy here on the side of the volcano.
His weather's better than ours.
Yeah.
But I think in Costa Rica, I think the weather stays that way like most of the time.
Ford guy says he's finally on his way down. Well, hurry up. What took you so long? I know Terry's already down here. You told me that last week. And you know what? I don't know if, let's see. I don't know if I'm getting him mixed up with somebody else or not.
Jerry says they're dog sitting. They're trying to get more viewers. It's not clickbait. Trust me, it's not. Judy has to go somewhere for a couple of days. I forget where she went. You guys got to know Judy. I know she seems kind of laid back and kind of quiet, but she's like a member of everything. She's a member of the Disney Club. She's a member of the Disney, I don't even know what you call it, where you buy points and then you can take these points and stay at a Disney property around the world. So I don't know where she's at this week.
Well, this week she's not with Disney. She just went to visit family in Ormond Beach.
Oh, she got family.
Yeah, they're down there visiting, and so she went over to visit.
Oh.
But we got little Tulu.
But anyways, we babysit this mongrel here.
Oh, she's such a good baby. She really is. And you know, we're kind of dog deprived, animal deprived, and then don't let his gruff fool you because he's been feeding her cookies. She's on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, but she's a good baby. She really is.
Cookie.
Okay. Let's see.
That's big news in the trucking industry. It is whistle down. It is. It's a big blow. And I tell you what's going to happen. My prediction is because of those people being gone, you're going to see in shipping costs, you're going to see a rise. This is going to give UPS, FedEx, the two main ones, a reason to raise their shipping rates because there's less of them out there to compete with.
Yeah. Lauren Lampy says, I volunteer at a homeless shelter in suburban Chicago. Many people are 2 or 3 paychecks away from being homeless. Mental illness is also part of the problem. Yes, it isn't just drugs. There's a lot of reasons people are out there.
I'd like to know where to get those facts. Hearsay?
When was the last time you volunteered at a homeless shelter?
When was the last time I was 2 or 3 paychecks away from being homeless? Ever. In my life.
Like I said, you've been lucky.
I've been lucky. I just worked.
We've had a blessed life. And I said, we really have.
It ain't blessed. It's just, you just work. Yeah. That's all you got to do is just work and don't spend more than you bring in and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear people all the time saying, well, I can't find a job. So, well, they got a help wanted sign at a McDonald's down the road. Oh, I don't want to work there.
Yeah. Well, I remember when somebody told you was too qualified.
They did tell me that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. They just didn't like me, and that was the only thing they could come up with. That's the only thing I could figure out. Yeah, I went to apply for, what was I applied for? I want to say
it was something stupid.
It was a dispatch job, I think. I had a trucking company, and I wanted to get out of it. And so I went to a company, night transportation in Indianapolis. I went in and interviewed about a dispatch job, simple dispatch job. Not a big deal. And the guy took my application and what I've been doing and wanted to see my tax records, all this stuff. And I did all this. And he told me, he said, well, you know, he said, we'd love to have you here as part of our team. You know, they always say that, part of our team, or they'll say part of our family.
Yes.
That's all crap. And he said, but the truth is, he said, I can't hire you. You're overqualified. I said, what? He said, I don't think you'll stay here. He said, with the qualifications you got, he said, I think you're going to work for a few months and get bored with it. And he said, I think you're probably just going to quit and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
The truth is, he's probably right because I get bored with stuff really quick.
John Wright, welcome to Appreciation Level. Well, thank you, John. Anno says where she's at, it's back to normal temperatures in the 80s. That's in Richmond, Indiana. Yeah.
Storms. Indiana has pop-up storms in the summer. I can remember them. Even in Brownsburg when I worked there, I get ready to go for work. It's nice and sunny out. I go out there and get in the car, and it's raining and wind blowing.
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But it happens here too. We'd be out here sunny and everything else. Well, the time we was out front and that gust of wind came up.
That was funny. You know, it's funny, but it wasn't funny. But it's all on tape. You guys seen it all. Like I said, we had to scramble because that storm come up really, really quick. And there's been several times when we just quit and come in the house when it started. Was that last week or week before? We just come in and it just cut loose.
The one that sticks in my mind more than anything was the one storm that popped up at Lake Sumter when we was up there.
Yeah.
That was almost scary.
It was scary. And we weren't used to it.
Well, when we talked to Scooter, he was there that day, and he remembers it too.
Yeah, he was in the back of the beer hut where I was.
Oh, he was?
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, we all took cover. But it was.
Well, if you're in a beer hut, you might as well have something to drink.
Well, no, I mean, we were in the sound part of it. We weren't there where the beer was, but where the sound guy is in the back. But like I said, they were nice enough to let us in, thank God. And like I said, because the lady we was with, she's like 4 foot. And
Sue calls me on the telephone. She says, "Where are you at?" So I'm over here at Starbucks having coffee. Where are you at?
yeah, you can count on you. Yeah. Okay. Agent K says, "What is skip feeding?" And I assume he means the dog.
TJ Yig says, "Tell us why the Villages is not what it was like 5 years ago." I think it's on 5 years ago. You got to go back further than that. 5 years ago, it's other than just more people. It's about the same now as it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, Brownwood was here. I'm talking about 25 years ago is what it was. The attitude, the way things was. The original developer was still alive. Harold was still alive, and it was just a whole different thing. You never heard about drunks running around in golf carts. You never heard about outsiders coming in and causing a ruckus. It just didn't happen. It was a trusting place. You would see golf carts in front of the movie houses, and ladies' purses were laying inside their golf carts. Today they wouldn't do that, but then they did. So it seemed like it was a more peaceful place, but it was a lot smaller. And then when Lake Sumter came along, it still kind of stayed that way. Wasn't a big deal. But you did hear about a ruckus every now and then. It was usually teenagers out in the parking lot back behind everything there, and they get in trouble back there. But that's all you really heard. And now that is expanded the way it is. You just hear about drugs like every day. You hear about drunks every day. You hear about fights in bars every day. You hear about a guy and his wife gets in arguments and fights and arrested like every day. It's just as it gets bigger, you're hearing that kind of stuff every day.
And still, on a scale of what a town this size would actually have, we are the safest in Florida.
I still say that's BS because you can't compare a age-restricted community to another community the same size that is not age-restricted and or not designated as a retirement community.
Okay,
so
there's 5 fingers. Here's 5 fingers. If I break one on this hand, I mean, I don't understand your reasoning for that.
My reasoning is, if you go to, let's say, I don't know what the nearest, what town is close to the same size as this? I don't even know.
Gainesville.
Huh?
Gainesville.
Gainesville. It's not age restricted. Teenagers live there. Babies live there. Children that don't even have a father at home live there. It's totally different demographics. Here, it's age restricted. 80% of the people here, which this is wrong too, but 80% of the people here are at least 55 years old. You can't age restrict Gainesville. You can age restrict here. There's no children living here full time, supposedly. But up there, anybody can live there full time. So I don't see how you can compare the two at all.
Okay. Well, so we have to find a retirement community that has 140,000 people.
Right, and you won't find one because this is the largest retirement community in the world. And the fastest growing, I might say. So if you had a business, seriously, if you had a business of some kind that would fit in here, this is the place to be. I mean, if I had a business, this is where I would want to be to start one because you got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, that's true. And I said, this is a booming place. So, Kevin, thank you very much for that. Kevin Jackson's put the thrift stores, all the thrift stores, and he said that's courtesy of Karen. She wrote it all down. But there's all the thrift stores around here. There's so many. And I said, some of them do good work. A lot of them through the church, a lot of them through the hospital. And there are some, what do they call, consignment stores also. But yeah, if you're looking for pieces for your house to get it furnished, let's try them first. I would. And I never would have said that before. But when I moved down here, it's different. It really is. They're very picky about what they take in to any of these stores. So what you get is pretty nice stuff. And I said you can find stuff that's a lot more expensive than what you would have bought at a big store. And I said, usually the turnaround time for delivery is a lot smaller. So it could
Liz
save you
Down
some
says
bucks.
that her husband used to work for UPS Freight in Kimberly, Wisconsin. I don't know exactly where Kimberly is, but I may have met him. I used to go to South Holland, up there by Chicago, back in my younger days, every day. And there was a lot of people that came down there from Milwaukee and other places. That was their regular run. Came down, did a turn down there. So I may have met the guy and didn't know it. But so anyway, I hope he got his retirement before they sold the company.
Okay, administrative assistant says, we just watched your video up in the historic area and you passed right by our house.
Cool.
We just bought in June. Hope to meet you two someday. We are headed back down into this month.
Cool. We're around.
I said, you look for his email on the homepage and I said, send us an email. I said, we may come meet you somewhere. I actually ran into a couple the other day when I was walking, and it was Brian Madigan and his lovely wife, and they happened to recognize me. And I said, of all time to see somebody, when you're out, and I said, it's been very, very hot, even early in the morning when I go out. And I said, you don't look your best, I'll say. But it was very nice of them to stop and say hey. And hopefully, I said, maybe we'll get together and be able to talk a little bit more. Appreciate it, guys.
Hi, Vicki. That's all she said was hi.
Hi, Vicki. Oh, Deanna says, I love going out on the road when I could with my husband, and I so appreciate everything the truckers do for all of us. Yeah, it's just a fact of life that they move everything. And I said, we wouldn't remember when they were stopping because of COVID. Remember what happened in Canada? I said, that could happen here. And I said, because once the trucks stop moving, you don't have anything in your stores to even buy. So they are very important. I think truck drivers and teachers are two of the most worthwhile professions they have here. I really do.
Well, the problem with teachers nowadays are politics. I hate the fact that politics is trying to get into our schools. That's not what schools are for. They're there to teach kids things and teach them to think. That's it. So politics and schools should just be totally separated, like church and state. Shouldn't even be happening.
Yeah, Frank Lowe says aloha.
Aloha.
Are you in Hawaii, Frank? And Gunther Flume says DVC.
He's probably making fun of my shirt.
Oh, I don't know. That could be. Oh.
This isn't because I moved down here. People say that all the time, saying, when you move to Florida, do you have to start wearing what they call Hawaiian shirts? I've worn these for as long as I can remember. The guys at work made fun of me on the weekends whenever I'd run into them, like at a restaurant on Saturday or something, or we'd be shopping at a store, and I'd run into one of them. This is the kind of stuff I wore all the time.
Yeah. Gringo says the weather there depends on altitude. It's 90 plus, 85% humidity at the beach. I'm at 5,120 feet, so it's pretty much temperature year round. Come here. But we're used to the 90s in the summertime here. I mean, it seems like we have 90 degrees from July all the way through to October. But we've had some really high temperatures this year. It's been high 90s. And that doesn't happen all the time. So I'm kind of geared to the 90s now after we've been here for a while. But 100, as I've seen that on my thermostat, I can't tell you how many times this month. The 100, 101, it's unusual.
I don't know if it's the heat that gets me so bad around here or it's the humidity.
Yeah, the humidity's been up too, and now that's been, twice as bad.
I was out in the garage last night recovering a little piece that goes in the motorhome. And just a little bit, I was out there doing that little bit of nothing work. By the time I come back in the house, I was sweating like crazy.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Marlin says if mental health causes homelessness, I'm in trouble. Yeah, well, there's many different reasons for it, but yeah, that is one.
What?
He said that if mental health causes trouble, homelessness, he's in trouble.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And I said, there is many
but
reasons
there's a
for
lot of people out
homelessness.
there with mental problems. You can see them walking around talking to themselves. That's me.
Yeah, that's you. Laura says, glad I can watch Porch Settin today. I'm at the office. Well, don't get in trouble, Laura. Oh, that's all right. You're leaving there soon anyhow, aren't you? You're going to come down here and play with us. Fly on the wall says, hi, Skip and Sue. It's 77 and sunny here in Erie. Well, I said, that seems like a much nicer temperature, actually. And I said, I'm used to, in the morning, I'm used to the 70s, you know, walking early in the morning. And it's even with the humidity being in the 80s. Like I said, the 70s here has been just really bad. Like I come in soaking wet. You know. But 77, that's pretty decent.
I'll take it.
Well, you know, this is August. I mean, they'll start getting cool weather soon.
She's in Michigan. Erie. Well,
Yeah.
no, that's Pennsylvania, ain't it? I'm so good at geography.
Oh.
Come here, get down.
Hey, Milan. My administrative assistant says, I work for a nonprofit in PA that serves single homeless moms and their children, and most find themselves homeless due to domestic violence, or the husband takes off and she was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So I said, there's a lot of reasons.
I never said that it never happens. I said, listen to me when I talk. 90% of these people out here are druggies.
And 90% is a lot.
And they're sitting out there with cardboard signs saying, please help me, I need help, please help me. And I guarantee you, because I've seen it on YouTube channel where people follow them, and they go out, get in their cars, drive down the road, and you see them out there buying drugs.
Yeah.
And the ones that are out here, when the police do arrest them or pull them over in a car, first thing they do is run a dog around the car. And every one of them cars, I mean, literally every one of those cars that they get in gets hit by the dog, and they check it out to find little glass smoky pipes in there where they smoke whatever, bags of cocaine. That's what they find.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you something that I know that happened when I was probably in my 30s and 40s. The country of Mexico told the United States, whatever the argument they were having, said, we will take over your country without firing a shot. I never forgot that.
I have not learned to speak Spanish yet.
But they're winning. Look at them. Look at L.A. Look at San Francisco. Look at all that mess out there. What do you think everybody in California is moving out for? They're not moving out because they really want to. They're being moved out because they kind of have to. And what about the ones that can't move out because they can't afford it? Their job doesn't allow them to move out, and they're stuck there.
Let's see.
David Kozak, where is he? There he is. I ain't seen David. Hey, David, how you doing, buddy? Ain't seen you for a while.
Last week, he put in there, and I said we went right by it, and it didn't dawn on me until later that he's getting married in November.
David.
Yeah, he said Terry was down here, and he's getting married in November.
No, just let her live with you for a while, and that way, if you ever get tired of her, you can throw her out because you own everything.
Funny man. There's Richard Reasoner from Virginia Beach. Let's see.
Gringo says that he's trapped because of bureaucrats. Something that takes 30 minutes in the U.S. is almost 6 months and counting where he lives.
Yeah, well, it's Gringo Loco, and he was going to move back. I thought he was.
Move back here?
Yeah, but it's just the bureaucratic, paperwork.
Why? Just get on a train and go over to Mexico and walk up to the southern border and just come on in. He said, sarcastically.
Yeah. Oh. And I said, administrative assistant said that would be awesome, but doing a total remodel and it's going to be beautiful. Yeah, some people don't think of the pre-owned homes here. And there's a lot of pre-owned homes here, and there's so many advantages to some of them. Now, yeah, some of them are old. Like I said, because this place has been around for a while, so Some of them are old, and you have to do that. I noticed that in the ones around Spanish Springs. What do they call those? The townhouse kind of thing. They're condos around Spanish Springs. They're beautiful, and I love the idea of them. But most of them has been owned for years and years, and the inside of them usually needs updating. They still have the stuff they had back when they started. So, but they're beautiful places, but it doesn't seem like the prices are showing that. That's what bugs me. The prices aren't coming down on the ones that needs updating. But
those townhouse things up there, they got them over at what's that golf course called over there? Glenview. You very seldom see them come up for sale anyway.
No. I have seen those over in Spanish Springs, though.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It's getting more prevalent, but at one time, I think all German people owned them things. When that neighborhood we found has got their own private pool.
In that neighborhood, yes.
And that was all German, too.
Yeah, but not in the condos. Those were a lot of businesses.
Those ain't condos. But Tim Andrews told us that. He said they come up for sale once in a while, but mostly the people from whatever country, I don't even know what country, maybe it was Switzerland, I don't know, owned them, and they sold them to other people. They wanted to keep it like their little territory.
Yeah. Elizabeth Chambers says she agrees with you about what you said about teaching. Yeah, it's a shame. It really is.
What's politics doing in schools to start with? Period. None. There's no room for that. And so, but here's the thing that's wrong with America. Let me tell you what's wrong with America. It's called acceptance. We accept everything. We accept this idea of this homeless problem, the people sleeping on the street and walk around them and all that, because we accept that's the way it's going to be. So we accept it. So that's why it's there. If we didn't accept it, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Yeah, Raymond, it is. It's a very cute puppy. And it's really not a puppy. It's actually 5 years old.
What? The dog?
No. Yeah.
If you look, she's got gray around her mouth.
Yeah.
She's got gray hair. And she never sits down. Well, she is now, but it's rare. This dog never stops running around.
Yeah, it's full of energy.
I mean, it's just constant.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Carol. She's hi from New York, Skip and Sue. It was nice seeing you, Sue, the other morning. They're the people that I met when I was walking the other morning, Brian and Carol Madigan. Yeah, I hope we didn't hold up traffic too long, but it was nice meeting you.
Were they in a golf cart?
No, they were in the car. I was walking.
They just stopped in the road?
Well, kind of, but there wasn't anything.
Are you crazy?
There wasn't anything coming. And when something came, they did leave, but they wanted to say hi. They recognized me. I don't know. I didn't know I was that recognizable from the car, but evidently I am.
Gringo Logan says Disney Vacation Club. Yeah, she's a member of that.
Yes, that's what the DVC was behind that other name.
But she's also a member of some other stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't know what it all is anyway, but she travels.
Yeah, and she's enjoying her retirement.
By the way, let me just say right now, there may or may not be a porch setting next Wednesday. Sue's not going to be here. Her and the W&L crew are going to some kind of a drunk fest.
We're going to a wine tasting.
Yeah, it's a drunk fest down at Edna's on the Prairie.
Edna's on the Green.
Edna's on the Green.
Yeah.
I'm not going. So while they're down there, I'll be here editing videos and stuff where it's quiet. And so if we do have porch setting, I'm going to leave it up to you because I'll be reading the comments. It's going to be later, like maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because this wine tasting thing is going to be at noon. Sue doesn't want to do that. She says we got to keep doing it at noon.
I think you should be consistent.
We did it at 3 o'clock one other time, and nobody seemed to care. I know, but that
was because you didn't get up.
The point is, we did it at 3 o'clock, and nobody seemed to care. And actually, we had more people show up to that show than literally any show we've ever done.
Well, yeah, we did have more people. And I have wondered, since you do, your videos come on at 6, your news comes on at 6. Maybe we should do this at 6.
I try to be consistent at 6 because my analytics says most of my viewers, people that watch my videos, are on between 6 and 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's why I changed it to 6, because that says that's when you watch.
Yeah.
Also, let me say, 64% of you that are watching my videos, you are not subscribed. I know that because my analytics says so.
Yeah, so go back and look at that button and subscribe. David, yeah, Terry
I'm
just
shaking
got
my
down
finger
there.
like I'm scolding somebody. You notice that?
Ignore that. Terry just got down there Monday. She's planning our wedding for November. Yeah, well, congratulations, guys. You know, that's not something you do every day. We haven't done that for 52 years.
What?
Wedding.
A wedding?
Yeah.
I ain't been to a wedding. Well, the last wedding I think I actually went to was your brother, Hubert's.
Oh, my God.
Right? Yeah, because our boy didn't. They went down to Tennessee somewhere and got married. We didn't get invited to that.
Brian was in the backyard.
That was my. Oh, that's right. Well, no, but wasn't it before? Well, yeah, maybe that was it. Our youngest son got married in my dad's backyard.
Yeah.
That was the last one we went to. But an actual full-blown church type wedding would be her brother's. It's Catholic, and let me tell you, the Catholic church weddings takes forever.
But it was beautiful. It really was. But that's a long time ago. Because his kids are in their 20s or 30s.
That was I was shocked. We went down in the basement of the church where they had the, what do you call that after the wedding, where they open the gifts and you have
A reception.
food reception. Like I'm so classy. The reception down there. I looked off to the side. Now this has been years ago. I looked off to the side and the preacher that performed the wedding thing was standing over there smoking a cigar. I never think of preachers smoking. It's almost like that's a sin. You shouldn't be doing that. But I told Sue, I said, well, if they allow, because we smoked back in, I said, if they allow smoking in the Catholic Church, maybe I want to change and become Catholic.
But that's so goofy. Kyle says they're going to Kissimmee after Porch Settin to go to Portillo's. Anyone want to go?
Where?
Portillo's.
Portillo's.
Yes, yes. And I said, we're getting one in Lady Lake. It's the Chicago hot dog place.
They don't have one here yet.
Not yet. They're going down to Kissimmee. There's one in Kissimmee.
No, I'm not going that far.
Okay.
I got to start editing the news. Every Wednesday, right after this, I start editing the news.
Oh, they want to know if anyone wants to go, not just you. No.
Oh, so you can go. I can't go.
And no, Tammy, it's not our new fur baby. That's Judy P's little baby. And her name is Tulu. It's short for Tallulah. And then I said, she's the same breed as what our little Katie was, but she's short-haired and Katie was long-haired. But she's got so much energy. I mean, I walked her down the block, I don't know, a couple times this morning, and she was still ready to go. Geez, she just never slows down. No.
Kelly B. We didn't get a dog, Kelly. Sue is babysitting this dog.
Yeah, I'm just babysitting for Judy P. And like I said, she'll be back sometime today. So just overnight. And but she did mention something about she may be substitute teaching for a couple days a week in the future. No, you never know. I might have her more often. Hey, William. Cindy G says Russia said the same thing. Give the weak drugs.
David Kozak says, help me, Skip. Dave, it reminds me of Forrest Gump, the movie. Run. Run, Forrest. Run.
Oh, my. Yeah, it's congratulations are in order. Are you, you're getting married up home, I'm assuming. Or are you doing that down here? E. Jim says, wish I was retired like you guys, coming down in January for a lifestyle visit. Hopefully we can have a drink together. Well, E. Jim, you just never know. Like I said, if we're here in January, like I said, hit that Skipper's email and send him a message, and maybe we can do that. Jerry. He said, David Kozak, Skip will put together your bachelor party. He'll find some dancers from TV. Should be fun.
Oh, yeah.
I remember what my son says once, because I told him to watch one of the videos because it had the Village's cheerleaders on it. It was something that I was videoing up at the square. and it was a special holiday, so they had a bunch of groups there, and I took pictures of the cheerleaders, and he said, "Oh yeah, Mom, that's what I want to see is 80-year-old cheerleaders."
Yeah, what I'll do for your divorce party is I'll get the village's belly dancers. It's a sight to behold.
I said, "Live your life." Yeah. Gringo says, "I'm splitting a property and adding an easement. Luckily, my buyer is local and isn't in a hurry to build." Well, that's cool. T.R. Maines wants to know what's going on in the village today. Well, today is Wednesday, and there's not a whole lot going on today. I mean, there's the normal stuff. You've got your pickleball, and I think softball season's in now, so there's a lot of games going on. But there's a big drawback because of this heat.
The problem with that is, I know because they had a couple of guys a few years ago that actually died on the softball field because of the heat. They had heat strokes and died. So then they enacted a rule that once the temperature gets above a certain degree, and I don't know what that is actually, I want to say 90 maybe, I don't know. But if it gets 90 or above, there is no softball, period, practice or otherwise.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying in this kind of weather, softball may have started, but unless they're going out early in the morning and practicing, they're not getting much done.
Yeah, and it's not been too many years ago when they didn't have those kind of rules like at the square. If there was a storm going on, it didn't matter. If it got too cold, it didn't matter. If it got too hot, it didn't matter. But now they have rules. If you look on the, I think it's the back couple pages of the Recreation News, which comes out in the paper on Thursday. They give the criteria for, when it's too hot, it gives the amount. When it's too cold, it gives the amount. If the storm's coming, that kind of thing. It tells you when they close that stuff down, so you won't be sitting up there waiting for something to happen. But yeah, I don't know of anything really that's going on today, other than, as I said, other than the normal stuff.
Skip Wilson says, I'm up for later. Laura Lamp says 3 p.m. next week is cool. Kevin Jack says, I like 3 o'clock. Jerry Bell says, Sue will be half in the bag by 3.
Luckily.
What does that mean, half in the bag?
Drunk.
No, she don't drink that much at all.
Yeah. So, it wouldn't take a whole lot now.
I thought maybe he meant bed.
Oh, no.
She does go to bed early.
I do. I go to bed early because I get up early. And I said, you can't do that if you're up all night.
Just like me. I mean, the beer thing became like a signature thing, like the hat thing, and it all started on WNL. That me being inexperienced about doing any of this, I wasn't aware that once you start doing something, people expect you to do it all the time. And so the hat became a thing, so I still wear it even like right now. The beer thing, because on WNL, everybody would say, what's beer of the day? And that's how it all started. And so it's become something to where they expected me to do it, and so I just did it. But the truth is, I take a 6-pack of beer. It may be in the refrigerator for a month, But I do drink more here than I did when I worked because I don't have that CDL to protect anymore. Mm-hmm. So, if I decide to drink 2 or 3 beers a day, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, they're all health conscious. To me, they take the fun out of life. You can't eat that. There's too much cholesterol in that. You can't drink too many of those because that'll tear your kidney up. Well, I figure I'm going to be dead at 80 anyway. I'm 71 now. So I'm in that 10-year countdown. I'm at number 9. So if I want to drink a beer, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. And then the wine, the wine thing is, it's not just a wine tasting. They're going to educate you on wine. And I said, that's Edna's on the Green.
They're going to educate you.
Well, I mean, on the different types of wine.
Here's how the education is going to work if it was me. I'm simple. I drink it. I don't like that. I like this. That's it. That's all I need to know.
That's what, I may find something different that I do like, because I drink the same thing all the time. And I said, when you do that, you don't experiment that much. And so I may find something that I like better.
Hi from Stonecrest. Hi, Stonecrest. I see you over there. Hi.
Yeah. Carol Madigan says, hey, Skip, we remembered not to leave our keys in the golf cart while we were there, thanks to your weekly reminders.
You know, if I see you, I still have a few of those don't leave your key in the golf cart keychains.
Yeah.
And remind me, because I forget all the time.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're still here. They were just visiting.
Oh, I don't know either.
Yeah, because they're from New York, and I told them that we do love New York.
What do you want? Well, come here.
Get up there.
I don't know what she wants.
She wants you to rub her belly.
I can't do that here.
Well, she's this craziest thing, I'm telling you. She get up on the couch next to me and turn over to rub her belly. And if you quit rubbing her belly, she takes her hand or her paws and she paws at you until you rub her belly. I said, I can't do this all night, baby. But she's a good doggy. She really is. Yeah.
Please subscribe to my channel.
If that'll work. Yeah, David Kozak said that they met me, but they haven't met you yet. Because I met him at Bob Evans.
Who?
David Kozak in his lady.
Oh, I don't know.
Like I was down there for the ladies' breakfast. Oh. And I said, they come over, they recognize me.
Did David come to ladies' breakfast?
No.
David, did you go to ladies' breakfast?
Evan Terry was in Bob Evans, and I said, I was at the ladies' breakfast, and they recognized me and come over and spoke to me, yeah. Oh, Laura says, chef made lunch for employees. Bye for now. Well, that's a pretty good place to work now. The chef made lunch.
I'm going to say, I've had a lot of jobs, and we never had a chef make lunch for us.
Yeah. J.C. Comer said, did either of you see the virtual tour of Villages High School in Middleton? I did. I mean, wow. You know, I mean, they don't make high schools like that. And the ball fields were incredible. I mean, I've never seen anything like that at any school I've ever been to. Have
you gone to
Mazzaro's?
Mazzaro?
No, but you know, I'm going to take that bus trip. If I can find somebody to go with me, I'm going to take that bus trip, and it goes to Mazzaro's. And I've been to a couple other places that they said it was, you know, good Italian meats, and it was the same thing I could buy anywhere else. So I'm kind of jazzed to try out Mazzaro's and see if it's worth all the hype. No. And we don't eat a lot of meat, so I don't eat any, but he doesn't eat that much anymore either. So my freezer's still full. I don't hardly buy meat anymore. Oh, they're getting married down here. Well, great, David. Yeah, Kevin. They're getting David and Jerry's getting married down here.
Well, good luck. You know, the 50% of the marriages ends up in divorce. Just saying. 50% of your money disappears with the ex-wife. Just saying.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why.
Prenup. That's all I got to say.
Oh, he has to go back to work. He has golf carts to repair, David.
Oh, that's right. He works on golf carts.
Yeah,
he'll be able to work. Does he live here now?
No, not yet.
So he'll be able to get a job down here working on golf carts.
Well, he's on his way down. But he says he has to get back to work, golf carts to repair. Looking forward to the bachelor party. Thanks, Skip. Talk to you soon.
Later, Gator. After a while, Crocodile.
Okay, Tierra Main says, if my husband and I visit the Villages and wanted to buy you and Skip dinner, where would you choose to go?
Tammy says late afternoon is okay with her.
And yeah, that's kind of up to you. If I'm not here, you know.
It's up to them. It ain't up to me. I'll do anything, you know. I'm just saying Wednesday's the day I start editing.
Why?
So if you're not going to be here at noon, I'll start editing, knowing we're going to do the show at 3. But I want them to know it's going to be at 3. That's all. Because the moderators need to know. More respect to the moderators, because if they got things to do at 3 o'clock, and I'm not going to have any moderators, then I'm really leery about even doing it.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
But Tammy said it's okay with her, and she's a moderator.
Okay. Well, I say it's going to be up to you. And I said, this isn't going to be an every week thing. I'm only going to be on for one day.
Kevin says it's okay, and he's a moderator.
Okay.
Jerry Bell says he didn't say he would be there or not because he thinks you're going to be drunk.
Huh?
He said it right there. So Sue will be half in the bag at 3:00. That's probably true because I'm telling you what, this wine tasting thing, I don't know if they got to limit it or not. My guess is they're going to because there's so much problems with DUIs and golf carts. And if you ever notice, the Wildwood police patrol that area down there much more than they do anywhere else.
That's true. That's true.
That ain't no kidding.
T.R. Maine says, if my husband and I visit the villages and wanted to buy you and Skip dinner, where would you choose to go?
Olive Garden.
Really? Okay.
That's my favorite place to go.
Well, I know that's your favorite place to go, but usually when you do meet and greets, you go to Gators because it's
meet
quiet.
And greet? Well, you didn't say that.
No, you didn't.
I don't really care. I go anywhere. We try to pick a quiet place to talk because generally when people want to meet you, they want to ask questions. And the problem here in the villages, and I've mentioned it before, it's not really a problem, but it kind of is. If you're looking for a place to sit and talk and chat, the thing is you can't find a quiet place here. Everybody's got a band inside. Everybody's got high ceilings. Everybody here is half deaf. Me, too. They talk loud. And so when you go into these places, it's just noisy as heck, and you just can't seem to talk. You just can't.
Yeah.
So one of the places in Brownwood, if that's where you want to go, that I go to a lot because it's quieter in there. I've never had a problem as far as conversations go. The seats aren't the most comfortable after about an hour. Is Gators down there on the corner.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to go to Cody's. I will go to Cody's, but Cody's is one of them noisy places. You go outside at 5:00. There's going to be somebody playing music out there. You go inside, everybody's in there, and it's just really noisy, and you just can't find nowhere to really talk.
Yeah. Now I think the ideal place is one of the country clubs outside. But
some of the country clubs on certain days of the week, I know that Evans Prairie's doing it on weekends. They have a band outside now.
Yeah.
So,
and it's getting up to 100 degrees, so we don't necessarily want to be outside.
I don't mind being outside if it's shaded. The fans are going like Evans Prairie. And I've been to like all the country clubs. I know some of the country clubs, like say Glenview. They don't have a shaded area outside. That's the original country club. They don't have fans outside. The ones south of 466, almost all of them do. Mm-hmm. So, I'm about anywhere, wherever what we usually do is try to find out where you're staying. And then I'll try to pick a place close to you.
Right.
Because I know how to get there.
Bye, Kevin. I'm going to have to go back to work. G-Star 3000.
Not for long. I think he's retiring at the end of this year.
Yeah. G-Star 3000 of the villages is awesome. It is. I mean, in comparison to other places, it is awesome. A pack of Sweet and Low makes wine better. You're worse than I am, Mr. Marlin. I usually like my wine over ice. And I know that's weird, but that's the way I like it. But I've never put Sweet and Low in it.
Who puts Sweet and Low in wine?
Well, I don't know. Well, evidently he does. He says a pack of Sweet and Low makes wine better.
I thought it was weird when I found out it's kind of a thing that Merlot drinkers, Merlot. I don't know how to, anyway, whatever that wine is, it's a thing down here that people put ice cubes in it. I don't get that.
I like mine over ice. Yeah. William says if you take that little thing to China King, they'll cook it to order. The dog says if you take that little thing to China King, they'll cook it to order.
It wouldn't make much of a meal.
And
you guys probably can't tell, but she's just the size of your hand. She ain't very big.
She's little. Carol said they left the villages on Monday. Looking forward to our next visit, hopefully soon. Well, I hope you can, honey. Like I said, this is a unique place. It really is. And he didn't hear me or he would have said it.
What?
I said, this is a unique place. That's
how you kill rabbits.
I knew it. But yeah, they left Monday, so. Joy Hudo says 3 o'clock's great for her.
F&S Norris says, you're right, Skip. I'm cracking a beer right now. Good for you. I mean, you're not going to live forever. I think that's the thing around here. People seem to think if they play pickleball 10 times a week, we're going to live forever. If we don't eat meat, we'll live forever. You're not. You're going to die. The average person, male, dies at the age of 78 now. It was 76. Now it's 78. So my doctor told me, and he told me right straight to, he said, my job is to get you to live to the age of 80. He said, after that, he said, thank God for every day you got. So that tells me at 80, I'm probably going to be close to being done anyway.
Yeah. But like I said, you're fortunate that you don't have a lot of maladies to worry about up until that time.
Gringo Logan says 2 or 3 beers a day. Heh, I call that a hick breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, Rizzo says, I'm retired. I have the same thing to do at 3 as I do at noon.
Nothing. That's me.
Yeah, I have more to do now than I ever did. So.
G-Star 3000. Is that new? G-Star
I think
3000.
so.
Are you
Yeah.
new to the show? I always like to know who's new. If you're new, I don't know, put it in capital letters or something saying, I'm new. I don't care. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I got a magazine I can give away if anybody's interested in that too. I always forget that.
Yeah.
I offered it to my YouTube members and nobody responded. So I'm assuming the members already live here and they don't want it.
Well, yeah, because it comes in the newspaper. So
Yeah.
if you take the newspaper, it comes the first of the month in the newspaper.
I'm going to plug
Yeah.
it up here. I'm going to plug it up here.
Oh, okay. Oh, and I've got you all to myself now. I said I've got him all to myself now. Now we can talk about him. And as far as things going on here, the Wednesday is that wine seminar. But, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're having cooking classes at a lot of places now. And in Sawgrass Grove, their new kitchen is open on Tuesdays and Thursdays now for a cooking class. And they have a different menu every class. But also, I've seen Red Sauce is doing that now in Prima. And I believe Lopez. They're all doing cooking classes. So if you're interested in anything about like that, Billy Bob says, how about pizza? Roberto's. Well, we
Where
tried
did we
a
get that
new
pizza
one.
yesterday?
Bravo.
Wasn't bad.
It had the good taste. It has the taste like we're used to.
Is it what we used to know? It ain't.
The
But
crust was.
the crust was really good, which that's half a pizza right there is a good crust. And it had the flavors that I like. I like things that's got, you can taste everything. You can taste bell pepper. You can taste a good mushroom. And I like button mushrooms, not that sliced crap.
Yeah.
You slice a mushroom and lay it on a pizza because it goes further. By the time that thing cooks down, it just tastes like dirt. That's what a mushroom is. And I don't like it. But a button mushroom keeps that little snap about it.
Well, he says Roberto's, and we made it Roberto's a lot, but we've never had pizza.
I've never had a pizza there.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, we've never had pizza there. Well, maybe we'll have to try
I've
that
had
next.
pasta, a lot of pasta there.
Yeah, and I really like what they cook, and paisanos too. I really like some of the stuff they had there. So
G-Star 3000. Nice doggy. She's really not. She's a real pain. She never sits still. She's constantly running around. She comes in my room 100 times a day just to see what I'm doing, turns her right around, then leaves, goes to see where Sue's at. Once she knows where Sue's at, she turns around, comes running right back in my room. That's what she does all day long.
yeah, she's full of energy. But then at night when I tell her get in her bed, she gets in her bed and goes right to sleep.
That ain't true. Last night she snuck out in the kitchen and she left me a little prize on the little rug that goes out to the garage. I seen it when I went out in the garage last night to finish up my project. And I looked down and I seen it and I thought, what the heck is that? Then I realized what it was.
Yeah. Well, you should have took her out.
I mean, this was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, that's why she done it that time in the morning. D. Smith, what kind of poem was it?
Huh?
She says she asked AI about Skip with a little bit of info, and it wrote this poem. Long live AI.
I ain't got down that far yet.
Oh my. D. Smith says Grumpy Skip Smith, the man of few words, lives in the Villages, Florida, by the birds. He's always grumpy, never smiles, and if you ask him a question, he'll give you the silent treatment for miles. Ah, an AI give you that poem. That's cool.
Well, I don't know if it knows me that well because I don't much give anybody the silent treatment.
Well, no,
It's
I've
an
been
effort.
silent for
It's an
years.
effort for me just to shut up.
That's true. Tricia says she likes ice in her wine too. I don't know what it is, but I guess because I'm used to drinking everything with ice. Now Skip doesn't use ice.
No.
You know, he drinks iced tea or Coke or anything. He doesn't use ice. And actually, I've got an ice maker for sale because we bought it for the motorhome, but we never used it. You know, and so I want to get rid of it. It's just in the way right now. But oh my.
Here's how I see ice. Iced tea is hard. It's hard if you're an iced tea drinker. I like sweet tea. A lot of people don't even know what sweet tea is. It's not necessarily tea with sugar. Because we go in a restaurant all the time, we always say, I always ask, "You got sweet tea?" Now down here, it's everybody's got it. But you start heading up north, it gets sometimes a little wonky. And I said, "You got any sweet tea?" And they said, "No, but we got sugar." That ain't what I asked. I know you got sugar. I see it on the table here. That's not sweet tea. And I don't like it that way. And you can put sweet and low in it. That leaves an aftertaste. I don't like that either. What's the other one? The Splenda. Splenda in coffee is fine with me. I use it all the time. But put Splenda in sweet tea, it's a whole different taste. I don't like it. So if you ain't got sweet tea, then I particularly just don't even want it. And the best sweet tea is the tea that's made with the corn syrup. Is it corn syrup?
Yeah.
And you can't find that hardly anywhere except one, and you can't get it in a restaurant. But when you get to Indiana, for really good sweet tea, it's MCL Cafeteria. Oh my God, that has got to be the best sweet tea I've
And their
ever.
coffee's great too. I can sit and drink their coffee all day long, and I don't drink that much coffee. But theirs is Cadillac coffee. They told me. I never asked about the tea, but they said the coffee was Cadillac coffee, and I said it's really really good.
And don't put ice in it because it waters it down. It just does. The ice melts. It waters it down. The flavor kind of gets. That's what I don't understand about wine. You're drinking this wine that somebody prepared. It took them 7 years to make this stuff, whatever however it takes. And then you throw ice in it. You're just watering it down to where it's not tasting the way it's supposed to taste.
But now they only give you a little bit of wine when they.
Do you ever see anybody put ice in their beer?
No.
Because if you do, it makes the beer taste like light beer, watery. It's no good.
And like I said, they only give you a little bit of wine, and how long do you think it lasts? It's not going to last with me long enough for the ice cubes to melt.
I don't know. I've seen some of these old ladies take a glass of wine and nurse this thing all day. Funniest thing we ever saw, we weren't here full time, and we might have had our house over there, but we came down on vacation as part-time, or at least I did. We went to Olive Garden, and we were sitting there eating dinner, and back in the back of the room, there was this long table. And we were, kind of getting used to the idea of retiring here, and we're seeing what people are doing, and we're watching them. Maybe we could learn something. And it was probably, I don't know, 15, 20 women in this big, long table, and they all had wine glasses right there. And back then, I don't know if they still do or not, but Olive Garden used to give you a taste of wine if you wanted to taste the wine.
Try it out.
A little shot in the glass. So everybody said, "Yeah, we want some." So they got a shot. Other than maybe 4 or 5 people at that table, nobody drank wine. So what they did was they all took their glasses, poured it into one next to them. That person poured it all down to the next one. That person, they just kept pouring it until they ended up with like 4 or 5 glasses of wine that were completely full, and gave them to the people that wanted them.
Yeah, it was funny. But I learned something.
I just wish I had my camera and had a YouTube channel at that time, because that was funny.
Oh, and she said, but deep down, Grumpy Skip Smith is a kind man. He just has a hard time showing it. That's his plan.
What?
That's the end of the poem. Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't read that far.
So deep down, Grumpy Skip Smith is a kind man. Just has a hard time showing it. That's his plan.
It's not planned.
And it is.
Not
It
planned.
is. Truly. I said he's well, the grumpy part maybe.
This is the hang up girl from one of your Saturday night live chats. Coming down next week, so excited. Did you read this?
I haven't. No, I got
This might be the time I buy. Guess I better bring my checkbook. Debbie, always bring that checkbook.
Yes.
And when you go looking, take the checkbook. It happens so often that you're going to look at something, and maybe it won't happen, but I'm telling you, it just happens a lot. People will go look at something, and when they walk out of the house, they own it. Somebody will go look at a house, and they say, well, I'm going to go look at these other houses first. They look at 4 or 5 other houses. They come back the next day. The house that they decided they wanted, gone. It sold that quick. I don't know if it's still that bad. My guess is it probably ain't, because I think they're building more houses now than they used to at one given time. Used to, they built so many houses, and then they moved to the next street. Now I think they're building like whole neighborhoods, opening them up for sale, and they move into a whole new neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So you might have more to choose from, but still, be ready to write that check for a deposit. And keep in mind that if you decide you don't want that house, you can move that deposit to another house. They don't charge you anything extra.
Yeah. And Renee Gonzalez, she says she has the non-melting ice cubes. They're plastic and are in C shapes. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so you wouldn't have to worry about watering your drink down. But like I said, wine you usually don't drink that much. It's very small, so it doesn't have time for the ice to melt.
If I wanted to put ice cubes in my iced tea, here's what I would do. Just me. I would take my tea, put it in an ice cube tray. I would freeze the tea, get my iced tea, and take the iced tea ice cubes and put that in my iced tea.
That would work too. Yeah. Okay. Renee Gonzalez, she says, I'm new because I'm usually at work. I enjoy watching later, though. So there's another one for 3. There you go.
I can do it at 3. It ain't no big deal with me.
And KM says, anytime you pop on, I get a notice, and I can usually watch. Yes, and thank you, Renee. Yes, thank you, Jerry, for reminding me.
The only thing, at 3 o'clock, it's hotter then than it is at noon. Mm-hmm. The hottest part of the day here, I think, is like 4 or 5 o'clock.
That's when it starts going down, yeah. Yeah. J.C. Comer says, Skip signed me up for the magazine. So you explain yourself, will you?
Yeah, the way it's going to work is at the end of the video, anyway, you can do it now. I don't care. But the first person that emails me with your mailing address, then I mail that to you. Yeah. And I just go to my email and I go up there and I find the first one. Whoever is the first one, that's who gets it.
Right. So, JC, if you're interested, send him an email.
Yeah, because you don't want to put your mailing address on here.
And I don't know how to pronounce that name.
I'm new because I'm usually at work. I enjoy watching later, though. That's fine, Renee Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe, Renee.
Yeah, I never thought of that, KM. It just now dawned on me, but I'm pretty sure that's not. But the D. Smith, you want to know if that was Dalton?
No.
Yeah, I think it's a lady.
No, because they asked an intelligent question.
Yeah.
Dalton's a little kid. So you'll know if it's my grandson because that's what he'll do. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Grandma.
Oh, yeah, and he hasn't been on here for a while. Miss him.
It's summer break. He's probably playing baseball.
I think they go back tomorrow.
Going to the swimming pool, riding bicycles, doing kid things.
Yeah, I think they go back to school tomorrow.
I'd rather see them do that than to sit in the bedroom all day long and play video games.
Yeah.
Somewhere we've lost this. The kids being outside, having fun, playing tag. hide and seek. I mean, I know it may sound goofy, but the point was it had us out with other people conversing and playing and making friends. Today, here's how they make friends. They don't even know who they are. Send me a picture so I can see what you look like. I mean, I don't know. There's something missing here.
He says as he talks on the computer.
Well, that is true. I'm guilty of it too, but I can tell you that going back to when I was a kid, even if we had this available, which we didn't, I still much prefer to go out in the weed field and play baseball with my buddies, ride the bikes through the woods. That's what we did.
Yeah. KM says you're due for a call-in with Skip Show.
Yeah, probably am. I don't know when we did the last one. You were there.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I like to do them call-in shows quick and unannounced, so to speak. That's why I keep saying, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And like Sue said, if you use your phone, make sure you got your phone settings where you receive notifications or you won't get it on your phone.
Yeah.
Because I never know if I plan this on a regular basis, there's some weird people out here in the world. And I don't want them coming to the show and causing all kinds of trouble. And that's why I like to do it as because the ones that cause trouble, the odds are they're not subscribed. So I'll tell you this though, just so you know, if you're a YouTube member, sometimes I go live on YouTube members only. That means if you're just a YouTube subscriber, you'll never see it. And on YouTube members only, we'll go live and we talk to all them people. And they ask us anything they want. There's no holds barred. Because once that live show's over on the YouTube members, I delete it. It's gone forever. And they asked us all kinds of questions. They'll ask my political views about things. And that's the only place I allow that is there. Once I figure out how to go live on Patreon, we may allow that there too. But so far, I'm not smart enough to figure that out yet.
Well, D. Smith says, no, not Dalton Smith. Says from Southern Illinois, but live in Colorado now. Well, I said, Dalton's our grandson, and he used to get on here every once in a while. And then I said, and his handle on here was Bros, I think. And Papa said he didn't like it, so
yeah,
he hadn't been back on since.
It just sounds like street crap. I don't like street language. I don't. And when one of my own family members starts using street lingo, I don't like it.
Gringo Loco says people down here drink beer over ice all the time.
Really?
And it's probably because of the heat. Billy Bob wants to know if you ever tried Splenda with
I don't even
allulose.
I don't even
and
know
I
what
think
that
he means
is.
cellulose, but I don't know.
No. When it comes to my iced tea, truthfully, I don't want to put anything in it. There's a particular way to make good sweet tea. It's kind of like wine. Why would you put Splenda in wine? I mean, there's a particular way of making beer. I wouldn't put sugar in my beer. And there's a particular way to make iced tea, a sweet tea. And the Southern people seem to know how to do that. Northern people seem like they're learning. Used to at one time, you never got sweet tea in Indiana. I don't care where you went, never. Now, I would say it's probably close to about 50, 60% of restaurants now do offer sweet tea.
Yeah, especially down here. Yeah, because I always get unsweet. But yeah, it's one of those things that it's the sweet tea down here is a little bit too sweet for me, and because Southern sweet tea is sweet, and it's not like what we would how we'd usually sweeten it. So, but you like that? You would? They said all that.
Yeah, that. What do I drink? That green bottle stuff.
The green bottle.
You buy it.
Oh, it's
Peak.
Gold Peak.
Gold Peak. So far down here, anyway, that's probably the best iced tea that I have found. It's a clean tea, what I call clean tea. Another one of my pet peeves is I don't like drinking dirty tea. Dirty tea is if you hold it up in the bottle at a store and it's cloudy, and most of it is, to me, that's dirty tea. And I can drink it. It tastes okay, but it bugs me that it's cloudy. I keep looking at it going, why is it cloudy? It shouldn't be cloudy. Gold Peak is not. It tastes really good. It tastes like tea. A lot of this iced tea don't taste like tea. And when you hold it up, it's clean and it's clear. Now, if somebody gave you a glass of water and they said it's perfectly drinkable, there's nothing wrong with it, we tested it, but you held that water up and it was cloudy, would you feel right drinking it? Well, that's the way I feel about my tea.
Tamara Vanden Heuvel, watch your channel all the time. Just sold our home in Wisconsin and we'll be renting in the Villages starting August 14th.
Smart.
Until we find a home.
Smart. I've always said that. Take your time. There's houses for sale everywhere.
Yeah.
Take your time, look around, find the area that you think you really like to be around. Lake Sumter, Spanish Springs, Brownwood, down by where the new square is going to be. What's it called? Eastport. Check all of it out. Take your time. Pre-owned, new homes, big homes, small homes. And once you find that right home, then that money you're going to be spending for renting a house, it's not wasted. A lot of people say that's wasted money. It's not wasted.
No. Well, welcome, Tamara. I said, I know you guys will find your forever home when you get down here.
You're going to find your first of 3 forever homes.
Let's see. It's great to be Joe B. I watched Rodney Dangerfield on Johnny Carson on YouTube. His joke was, I lost $1,000 in Vegas, but I got even with them. I got 400 packets of Sweet and Low. I remember Skip's mom used to take a plastic bag in her purse all the time, and she would take the Sweet and Low.
It was so embarrassing to be and watch my own mother across the table shoplift.
Yeah.
Mom, what are you doing? Well, you never mind. Mom, I'll buy you a bag of Sweet and Low.
Ron 5850's got to leave. To see you guys next week. Bye, Ron. Have a great day. Fisherman 12, Senior Citizen Tax Elimination Act, House Bill 3206, in the Ways and Means Committee. Very important for seniors. Please take a look. Thank you. Okay, I'll look at that.
Tax elimination bill.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either, but I tell you, I had the same argument in Indiana. One of the representatives in Indiana from my area came in Bob Evans once. Sue was with me. He was going around, shaking hands. And he asked me, if I had any suggestions or something that he might look into if he got elected into office. And I said, yeah. I say anybody that's worked their whole life and is 70 years old and older should never have to pay property taxes the rest of their life. That way they can honestly say they truly own that home. As long as you're paying taxes on that home, you don't truly own it.
Yeah.
And he said, that's interesting. He said, I've never heard that before. He said, I'll think about that. Well, that's as far as that went.
Well, nice. I don't know what this is. I said, I've not read it, but that's something to look into. Hopefully it's something on that order. But it says, please take a look. I'm going to do that. Thank you, Fisherman 12. J.C. Comer says, true gringo loco, Skip needs to get out more.
No, I don't. I've seen enough of this world, and I'm disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Listen, I drove a truck for 38 years. I've seen how you people are.
Sharon Kane says, amen. I agree, Skip. I'd like to see and talk to someone in person. And that, that is a lot. Yeah, the automated thing makes everybody crazy. It's not just me. I said, it really makes everybody crazy.
Well, yeah, it's just like the grandkids, You have a birthday, and as you're getting older, your life's getting shorter. And I'm not trying to do a guilt trip, even though it probably sounds that way. And then the only thing you get from your grandkids is a text message saying, happy birthday. Well, to me, that means nothing. It meant more to me when our grandkids were 3, 4, and 5 years old, and they got their crayons out, and they made me a birthday card and gave it to me. I still have them cards till this day.
Yeah. Yeah, ask him how many cards he sent.
Well, Sue sends them.
Yeah. Sharon Kane, yeah, I read that. Skip, in the South, we say, do you like tea with your sugar?
Well,
that's right.
I understand.
It's really sweet down here.
Some of it is. Some of it is like, whoa.
Yeah. Renee Gonzalez says, how do you avoid buying 3 houses? I just want to move one last time.
Everybody says that, and I'll just say good luck to you. But what usually happens, here's how it goes with what I know of, and we're going to be the same way. I can see it coming. You come down basically, and you buy a small patio villa or something like that because you have it in your head you're going to be a snowbird. This is what happened to us. Going to be a snowbird. 6 months here, 6 months there. Well, and then you get to doing the math. When you really get close to retirement, you start doing the math. If you're on a budget, which we are, man, I mean, if I rent my house, I'll come down here for the winter, then my house up north, you got gas. You can't shut the gas off, the heat off. You know, you got to have the furnace, somebody come by and check the furnace once in a while, somebody to clean the snow out of the driveway, make sure the ice hadn't knocked the gutters off the house. All these things have to be looked after. That's going to cost you money and things like that. And so you just say, well, you know, I think I'll just sell that place up there and move down here. House number 2. Because the first house is a car and a half garage, not big enough. Go to number 2. And there's also a 2-bedroom. So we go, you know, so you buy house number 2. I can see a third house popping up for us because I still don't have a golf cart garage. And that's my big thing. I wanted it here, and they wouldn't sell me one.
On your 10-year countdown, you may not be able to drive forever. You know that?
Well, that is true. But see, what if I die first? Here's the thing. Here's what happens. We're in house number 2. I die for some strange reason. Probably my wife will kill me before I get out of here. Now she's got this big house to take care of. She sells this house and goes back to buying a smaller 2-bedroom patio villa because that's easier for her to take care of. And that's how you end up with house number 3.
Yeah, and I said, you know, Gringo makes a pretty good point. And take your time, picture yourself in 20 years. Will it be too big, too far from shopping, that kind of thing? Yeah. I said,
actually, this house ain't too big, and what he says is exactly right. This house ain't too big. Sue could handle this house, and I'm not saying she'll buy a smaller house. I'm just simply saying in the past, that's how the practice went. We started out small, got a bigger. He died. She moves back into small.
Yeah, most of the neighbors have done that.
Yeah, and we've had neighbors that actually done that. But I got to tell you, though, the things that's changed that dynamic now is COVID. Because house prices has gotten so expensive down here, just literally overnight, people are selling houses down here and they're out of pocket for profit. Now, I don't know where they're going because you got to spend it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I understand it because I have never had a house in my life where I could make as much profit as I can on this one right here. But as you see, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, and Overjoy says, how do you factor in a new roof every 15 years?
Well, your insurance down here, according to some people telling me, the insurance is telling them they want a new roof on that house in 10 years.
Yeah.
We had a neighbor that sold a house here and moved in another area of our same neighborhood in a house that's basically the same age as the one he just sold, and the insurance company made him put on a new roof.
Yeah. But, you know, I think I'd look for a new insurance company myself because we're getting to that point. You know, we'll be in the 10-year range next year. And I said, so far, I've not known anybody myself that's had to do that. But I've seen a lot. I read all the boards, all the, you know, the neighborhood sites, the friendly folks, all those. And I've heard them talking about their insurance prices doubled or they had to put on new roofs at the 10-year mark. And so far, that's not happened to us, and it's not even been mentioned. So hopefully that won't be a problem. But you never know. Like I said, the way it's going with the insurance down here is it's kind of iffy right now.
Eliminate federal tax on Social Security. Do I pay federal tax on Social Security? I've never looked at it. That's how dumb I am. I know I take my Medicare stuff comes out of it. And I know what's left that goes into the bank account, but I've never looked at the so-called stub thing.
Right.
Do we pay federal taxes on Social Security?
Yeah.
You're right. We shouldn't be paying federal tax on Social Security.
Yeah.
We really shouldn't. Social Security's, well, half of that money is paid by the employer. So the other half I paid in taxes. I think he's got a point. At least half of that money or taxes should be much cheaper.
Well, that's what I said. I need to read that and see exactly what it says. But yeah, that's a good thing. And Frank Lowe says, my favorite shirts are Hawaiian shirts made for comfort. Michigan native in the Midwest. Heartland of America. Aloha means hello and goodbye and love and compassion.
I'm not listening.
I know.
My
Why
mind
is it that you do that?
I'm looking out there in my mind. I'm thinking of the news, editing the
gosh.
news. It's going up here.
Yeah. Overjoy says, why do people use 30-year shingles when it's mandated to re-roof every 12
Good
to 15
question.
years?
It all started with a bunch of crooks, and they got this federal judge in Miami. Federal judge in Miami said that what these people were doing here was not against the law. So that there's no law that says these people don't have a right to go look for work. But what they were doing was walking around on your roof and saying, hey, you got some damage up here. And the guy would say, well, I had my insurance. This is after a storm. After a storm, then these people would show up. And they said, well, they got damaged. And he said, well, I just had my insurance people here. And they walked around. They said there wasn't no problem. Up to that point, there's no problem. But then the people come back and say, hey, if I can get your insurance company to say, okay, would you let us put on a new roof? And the guy goes, sure, why not? That's what started all this.
Yeah. Because with the hurricanes, there was so many people that needed new roofs and so many people that had small damage, but the insurance had turned them down. So they were willing to go that route so they could get a new roof. But like I said, we've never been in that situation. I'm hoping we never are. But I have heard people talking about it. And I actually have to wait a few more weeks to find out what the house insurance is going to be. Because I'm waiting to see how far mine goes up. I expect a little bit every year, but I don't expect it to double. But with all the insurance companies moving out, you never know. But I will let you know. You know, I'll let you know when I get that invoice that says how much we owe for the year. So, Richard Sanders says, I live in Georgia. I am 76 and disabled. No property tax, and the license plate for a car and driver's license also free.
Cool.
Oh, well, maybe we should move to Georgia.
Well, the problem here is they're not going to give you a bunch of free stuff because we don't pay state income tax on anything.
Right.
And so that
they make up the difference.
They make up the difference in other ways. Yeah. You know, Indiana, Dad, because of being military, over a certain age, and actually you might say disabled, he had Alzheimer's, and I don't even know what all, but he had so many different discounts on his property taxes that it was literally like $200 or $300 a year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it should have been more like $2,500 or $2,600 a year. That when Dad developed Alzheimer's, here's a quick story how rotten some people in government can be. We had his bills sent down here because we were paying them. He couldn't pay them. You know, he didn't know how to make out a check. He couldn't do anything. So we were paying him, and the rest of the family was keeping an eye on him. We tried to keep him at home. We promised we'd keep him at home if we could. So we were paying him. So when I go up there one day, all of a sudden I got this registered letter stating that my dad owed him something like $9,000 in back property taxes. And I was up there, so I go up to the tax office, and I show him this letter, and I said, I don't know what this is all about. And the guy comes out, kind of snotty. And he said, well, because I don't believe your dad's living here anymore. I believe he's living in Florida. That's where all the bills go. And I said, no, that's us. And I showed him everything. I said, Dad's got Alzheimer's. He can't do his bills. Sue and I, we pay the bills. We have them sent down there because that's where we live. Well, you're going to have to prove to me that you guys are doing that. I said, how can I prove it to you? I need for your dad to come up here and tell me that. I said, Dad's got Alzheimer's. You know, he's under hospice care right now. He can't come up. You know, if you want to, I'll meet you over at the house. I'll take you in the house and you can see him. But he can't come out. He can't come in. I can't bring him in here. Yeah. And you could see the people working in the office with him in the background, because I can see him on my peripheral vision. They don't like this guy. And they're disagreeing with most of everything he is saying. They know what I'm saying is factual, and this guy's, and he was being headstrong. So anyway, let's say we got it all straightened out, or with some lady that worked there, and I hope she didn't get fired for what she did, but she got tired of his crap and got up and grabbed that computer and flopped it around and wiped all that tax stuff out and said, you're good to go. Because we was going to sell the house as soon as he passed away. Anyway, we didn't want it. And and that's how rotten some of them politicians can be.
And then Susan, if you're able to replace your own roof, can you do it yourself, or do you
Yep.
need to have a contractor for
Nope.
insurance purposes?
It's your house.
Yeah.
And if you want to go out there and put on shingles, just know that in most neighborhoods south of 466A anyway, I can't speak for 466 South, you get approval for the color of shingle that goes on that house. You can't just put on any old color shingle. You can't throw a metal roof on the house because you want to. You have to get approval for whatever it is you're going to put on that house.
Yeah. And I said, it's just like anywhere else when you have an insurance claim. Like I said, it's up to them, whether they pay you or not for the claim. But yeah, if you want to do it yourself, they hand you a check. If they okay it, they hand you a check. So you don't need a contractor to do that.
Well, I haven't had this insurance argument yet, and they probably don't want me talking to them on the phone because I know exactly what I'd tell them. I don't know anything here. I don't have to have insurance, truthfully. The bank just requires that because you have a loan. I'll just tell them, take the insurance, shove it up your ass. I said, I'm not going to do this. You're not going to tell me what kind of maintenance I need to do on my house. What's next? We need you to replace all the windows in your house because they're 10 years old? I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Christine says, Skip and Sue, can you recommend a quality and reasonable place to buy a pre-owned golf cart? Also, what is the best brand for golf cart, and do you prefer gas or electric?
Well, gas, because we're so big anymore, you put gas in it and go. Electric, you're always concerned about batteries going bad, things happening. That's just my opinion. Where an electric or a gas golf cart, and I've had mine since 2014, I think I bought it. It's a 2015 golf cart, but I bought it in 2014. And other than having the oil changed in it once in a while, I just put gas in it and go. And I've never done anything to it. And I can go anywhere I want. I don't have to worry about how far can I go. These newer golf carts have lithium batteries and stuff in them. That's true, and they do last longer. But there's a lot of intricate things that's attached to those electric golf carts, making sure that the electric juice goes here, goes there. Those parts can go bad. Not everybody has them parts. And there's just a lot of problems with electric golf carts, in my opinion, especially the price of batteries now. It cost me $300. Well, it didn't cost me actually, but just to put a regular car battery in your car down here is $300 for a battery. I'm not kidding. Can you imagine what a new lithium battery is going to cost in an electric golf cart? Or like our golf cart we had, it was a 48-volt golf cart, so we had eight 6-volt batteries. 8. Figure that at $300 a piece.
And then you won't get a lithium for $300.
No.
No.
So that's just me. I could get the battery for my golf cart, gas golf cart, because I know somebody went down there here a while back and got one. They said they went from $100 to $110. So for $110, you're good for another. I don't even know how far they go, but
as far as a place that you would recommend to buy them, and
if you want to buy a pre-owned, you can get them everywhere. You can get on the villagesnews.com. There's a tab up there for local advertisements, whatever they call it, classifieds.
Yeah.
You can go talk to the Villages website. There's a classified tab up there. You can go to the local newspapers, which is the Daily Sun, the Happy paper. I think they got a classified ad in there. There's all kinds of places here where people advertise their golf carts for sale. Kevin got one. I don't know where he got it off of what web page, but he got it off of some web page down here, and he bought a good used one. Jose bought a reconditioned one at the Village's golf car store, I believe. And when they go through them top to bottom. They look brand new.
Yeah.
So you can spend how much you want. You can spend as little as you want.
Okay. Rizzos are heading to Portillo's. Well, have a great lunch, guys. I said I miss Portillo's. I miss hot dogs. And I said I know the Chicago dogs. I said I remember the Chicago dogs.
Marsha.
See what she says. Y'all are so crazy.
She's sneaking in here. She don't want Jerry to know she's here. Jerry's already got her. Marsha.
Ruth Rager says our car insurance is coming up and it went up $41. Yeah, if they can do it, they're going to raise it every year. And I said, and that 41, I say, it just depends on, what you're insured for. And if you've got a big deductible and that kind of thing. I don't pay a whole lot for car insurance, and I've got a brand new car. But I think if it went up $41 for 1 year, I would probably question it. Yeah.
Christine, I didn't answer all that question. If you're looking for a standard golf cart, like what we all basically drive around, Yamaha, that's the gas cart you want.
Yeah.
Because you can get parts for them anywhere. Drive it to the nearest village's golf car store, say I need the oil change. They do it all right there.
Yeah.
Buy anything else, it's going to have to go outside the villages probably. They got to pick it up with a trailer, take it, bring it back. I mean, you can do that, and I know people that do that. I'm just looking at convenience. As I get older, to me, it's more about convenience. I just don't like the idea of going through a whole lot of crap to get something done.
No, Marcia, we're just dog sitting. James Satter says, what a cool dog. She is. She's a cool little dog. Yes, ain't you? Yes, you pretty doggy. Yes. Yeah. Well, like I said, I always liked my electric car, and I know that a lot of the younger people are buying the atomic cars because they have the air conditioning and all that. The thing is, I see so many of them that they've used for 6 months and they're selling it and going to a regular Yamaha. No.
Well, if money's not an issue,
Okay, Dan?
I say go to street rods. That'd be my choice.
Oh yeah. If you got extra money to play with.
I don't.
But street rods.
Those street rods are pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like riding in your car. They really are, and they've got so many different kinds. I mean, they'll paint it to what you want, and I believe they're all American made.
Well, they make them over there. I think they.
No, it's some southern state, but I can't think of where it is. But it's not here. I think it was. Trying to think.
All I know is they're pretty cool, but you're talking 25 grand and up.
Yeah.
But probably closer to about 28 to 30, really, with the accessories. But that all depends what kind of money you got. I've seen some down here that are custom made to look like a fire truck. Usually guys retired from the fire department. One guy is a retired pilot, and he got his golf cart that looks and sounds like a jet airplane.
Yeah. And you don't see as many of them anymore as you used to. Used to, you go down to the square, that's what you'd see is all these custom golf carts, and they were just spectacular. Now every once in a while you see one, but it's not like it used to be. And I really don't know why.
They're around, but I think a lot of them are snowbirds. You see them in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Coming up to the square, the parades they have, like the 4th of July parade.
Yeah, that could be.
Not the 4th of July. Thanksgiving parade. Halloween parade, believe it or not, it's a big deal. People dress up their dogs to look like something out of the scarecrow thing.
And they do have the golf cart stunt pilots, which
I know you're talking about.
They do things for different groups and organizations and things like that. I think they do it for a moneymaker for charities and things like that.
Winter times where you actually see a lot of stuff that happens that it really curbs off in the summer because of the heat, and of course snowbirds are not here, that kind of thing. But you'll see like the villages has got a train club. I don't know what it's called. In the wintertime, especially around Christmas, they'll set these train displays up at the hospitals, children's hospitals. Some of our rec centers, they set them up. And I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, they've got a club for the train.
Yeah,
train
that's what I'm
guys.
talking about.
Yeah.
But you don't see that in the summer too much because half the people ain't here.
Yeah. And you know what, really, when we first come down here, the one thing that I noticed, and then you don't hear them talk about it a whole lot, but at Spanish Springs and Lake Miramar, they always had the RC boats. They had the beautiful sailboats out there, and the guys were sailing the boats, and it was just such a pleasant view to look at the water and see the guys with their little boats out there, and I just thought this is where I want to be. Yeah. And now they've got the the RC cars and the planes, and because Jose has a really nice plane. Well, I think he has more than one, but and the bigger we get, the more they advance that. There's probably more than one club now for that, and I know they do it at Lake Miramar, and I think they do it at maybe at Everglades. They also have the boat club there.
They got them spread around.
Mm-hmm.
The RC cars, I think, is down south. The planes are up at the polo field. Everything's different. It just moves around.
It's
So
one of those
that's
things,
the
extra
thing.
thing to
That's
think
what
about.
I say is it depends on where you want to live, or what you want to do. If you're into RC planes, just know that most of the club members for RC planes are up north. If you want to do RC cars on a regular basis, I think most of them are further south. I can recall around Spanish Springs and around Lake Sumter, I never saw an RC track anywhere.
No, I think Rohan's got one.
That's down south.
And well, no.
It's south of Lake Sumter. Sumter's up there.
Okay.
So they're south of Lake Sumter.
But yeah, it's really, really nice when you see that kind of thing. It's something that you don't have to be real physical to do it, and it's just very peaceful sitting there on the water, or it's not like going to NASCAR or anything when you're watching the RC cars, but it's kind of cool.
I think it's cool about the RC boats up there. So they got the speed boats and all that. I like to watch the sailboats because there's some thought in that, because these guys on a breezy day like today, where it's not real, you can't do it when it's real windy out, but it's just a breezy day. Not only are they controlling the boat, they have to control the sail, which way to turn that sail to get it to go the direction they want, because they got an obstacle course that they run these things in and around.
Yeah.
And to watch these guys working these little things up there, I mean, they're really concentrating on that sail and all that stuff. And there's some effort that goes into it.
And kids talk about video games. They've not tried these boats.
But these guys are outside. Kids sit in their bedroom by themselves on video games with a headphone on, playing a game with some guy they never met, don't know who he is.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful sight to see that. It really was. It's just one of the things that you have here. And there's more than one club, I'm sure, because I said they have them all the way down to the south end, because I know they have some at Everglades and Rohan, and I said the polo fields, and I said Lake Miramar. So, they're all around. Like I said, just the recreation news that comes in Thursday's paper. Well, I'll tell you where all these are at. And from what I understand, what it tells you now is what's going on that week. It's not for all of them that's here. That's what's going on that week. Just like the Indiana Club. If they're having a meeting next week, it won't show. If it's having a meeting on this week, because it comes out on Thursday. So for the following week, if they're having a meeting on that week, that's when it'll show up in the recreation news. And I think you can also go to the .org, .org site, and the districtgov.org. Yeah, I think you can go to that, and it also has all the groups and the phone numbers of the person, if you're interested, the person that you can get a hold of if you want to join one of those groups or get information about those groups.
Call John Rohan.
Stop.
He's the head of recreational department. Call him.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, hey, Barbara. Mark Sears says, wish I could send you a picture of me and my 4 Sprinters sitting on my outdoor swing from Lower Michigan.
Why can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, take a selfie. Take a selfie.
You take your phone, not this way, turn it this way to take that picture, hang it out there, hit the button, send it to my email, and I have it.
Yeah. English Springer Spaniels. Oh, those are pretty. And those are pretty. We're getting close to the end here, guys. I think we only have another minute or so to go. Anything important that anybody has to say or ask? Or
well, I think it's what a lot of them said. I guess we'll have Porch Settin next Wednesday at 3:00 ish. I don't know what time these drunks are going to be done down here. These girls are going down here, and here's the thing. Stupidest thing I ever heard. They're going to teach them how to pair wine with cheese.
Oh my goodness, you know nothing about wine for one.
It isn't like pairing wine with a dinner, with fish or pasta, or pairing wine with a red meat dinner. We're going to teach you how to pair wine with cheese.
Yeah. Well, and they do have the different cheeses and what have you. I don't know all of it because I've never been to one before, but from what the literature says, they do have cheeses and things to go along with it. But I would just like to know, difference in wine, because I hear a lot of people talk about and I'm not a wine connoisseur. I know what I like, but other than that, I don't know much about it. But I hear people say things that doesn't ring a bell with me. And so I kind of want to learn more about it. I'll probably still drink the same old wine, but I want to
Hayward
learn.
says, "Thank you for inviting us all to your porch." Well, we're really not on the porch. We're kind of on the.
We're on the back porch.
Well, we're in the lanai. It's too hot outside, Dina. Normally we do this out front.
Yeah.
That way I can flip the camera around once in a while to show you what's going on, in the neighborhood. But it's just here in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's just been too hot, too humid, too everything.
Yeah, but and I thought this was the best way of avoiding any more conflict. We didn't have the computer falling apart on us or the mics falling apart on us because of the heat. So this ran pretty smooth, actually. Everything worked the first time.
Look at it.
You guys can't see this. The dog's laying down with her feet up in the air. She wants him to rub her belly. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen. But she's a cutie. She is. Now, okay. My favorite dog we ever had was an English Springer Spaniel. I lost her to cancer about 5 years ago. Well, so sorry, Marcia. Those are beautiful dogs. And nice. I think all dogs are beautiful, truthfully. I have a thing about the small ones because I can't handle the big ones anymore. I don't have the muscles to hang on to one, and so I have to have a small one. But I thank Miss Judy for letting Tulu come visit us. She's had a good time, and I said that way Mommy got a break too. And I said we're kind of dog limited here. We haven't had Katie's been gone almost 4 years now. I didn't realize it'd been that long, but yeah. But we're dog people. We love dogs.
Jude's 21 says, "Hey."
Thanks for the Porch Settin. I said, we appreciate y'all. I said, we do. I can't tell you. This has kind of changed the way we do things. I mean, it's something like Skip always wanted a part-time job. He couldn't get used to the idea of never working. And so he did several little things, but this seemed to stick. Maybe a little bit too long because he's got like a 5-year attention span. It's been over that, so I'm kind of surprised.
I've been doing this for
at least
9 years that we've been in this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing about YouTubing, if there's such a thing called YouTubing.
Yeah.
Is that I've noticed even on the channels that I watch and I enjoyed watching, because I'm subscribed to, and I kid you not, probably 100 channels, and I keep up with them every day. Because they don't post every day. They post like some post once a week, some post once a month. I'm just putting this out there for those that might be thinking about starting a YouTube channel. There's several things that I've learned over a period of time. One is run the YouTube channel your way. Don't let outsiders tell you how to run your channel because you have a goal in mind that they have no idea what that goal is. The second thing is when you're running a YouTube channel, is going to be content. Pick a day of the week, a day of the month, a time, and post that content the same day, same month, whatever, at the same time. Because people will learn that your video comes up like our WNL show. They all knew the last Wednesday of every month at 7 o'clock. And they were there waiting. So, and just like my videos I've been doing for the longest time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, the contents for that has changed because of all the other YouTube channels. We're all doing the same thing. And I don't like doing the same thing. I mean, I can do a golf cart ride, but what's different? Truthfully, what's different about my golf cart ride than anybody else's golf cart ride? Nothing.
Yeah.
And so I just don't want to do that. So when they all started doing home tours, house tours, I kind of slacked off on that because I was doing them a lot. And I just, I'm just going to quit doing that. And so now it's gotten down to Porch Settin. It's a way for us to actually get to know you guys, really.
Yeah.
More. I mean, we recognize all these names that we see. That's why we're always asking, who's new, because we want to know. And then I don't know what else to say other than just be you when you start your channel, and be consistent with the content. As far as everything else goes, the camera angles, what camera to use, what editing stuff to use, you'll learn that as time goes on. Don't let that worry you. Because really, to start your channel, all you need is your cell phone. That's all you need.
Yeah, I always use my cell phone. I never went with all the cameras and the mics and all that. When Deb and I would go do the Two Forks Up, I just used my cell phone. It was just easier for me, and people didn't get as upset. You know, a lot of times if you're walking around with a camera, taking pictures of everything, people get really upset. But everybody's got a phone nowadays, and so nobody even pays any attention, really.
Mark here says, I'm not smart enough to figure out how to send a picture. Yes, you are, Mark. It's easy. If you have a smartphone, I'm just assuming you do, you just hold it up there, but make sure, and then hit that, take a picture. And then go to your email.
Save the picture after.
Yeah, well, once you take the picture, it's automatically saved. It goes right to your gallery. So go to your email. I use Gmail, so I can only explain how Gmail works. And then hit where you're going to start a new email. That's called something. There's a button there for that.
It's a picture of a pencil.
No, not on my phone. It ain't. It's called whatever it's called. You're going to start another new email. And then at the bottom, it'll say, at the bottom, you want to add something. You want to add a file. Click on that. Go to your file where your pictures are at, which is the gallery. And then punch that picture that you want. And it will go to your email. And then you hit the send button. Yeah. I mean, it sounds complicated, but once you do it once, it's really not that complicated. If you got a home computer, you can drag it. You go to the picture, poke it, hold on to it, drag it over, and drop it in.
William, 204, is that the people listening or the temperature?
Probably people listening. Where we at?
Well, we're down a little bit now.
I see 196. Well, you said you was getting ready.
It was over 200. So.
You said you was getting ready to end it. So once you do that, they start hanging up.
Right. And Matthew O'Malley says, hello all. Skip, did you receive my private message I sent you the other day?
I don't know. Discern the Bible. It all depends on what it's about. I don't even know.
That was Matthew O'Malley.
Hmm?
Matthew O'Malley said, did you receive my private message? He'll have to go through and look. He doesn't remember.
Tell me what it was about, real quick, just to jog my memory a little bit, because I probably read it. I may not have answered it, but I probably read it.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what it was about.
And Marvin Hicks says he's new. Well, hi, Marvin. Welcome to the channel.
Make sure you come back.
Yeah, next week we'll be here at 3.
Yeah, it'll be at
normally
3 o'clock.
Noon, but next week will be 3.
In case you didn't catch it, her and the W&L crew is going to go down to the winery thing and learn how to match wine with cheese.
Oh yeah, yeah, and welcome to the back porch. You know, I think we need an intro. You know, I've looked at a lot of stuff, and I think we need an intro.
Well, let's make this as difficult as possible.
Well, that's not difficult.
It is difficult. All right, you make the intro.
Okay.
You make the intro, and we start this. You show me how you're going to get that intro to play.
Well, I said, I can record the intro. You have to put it on it.
See, more stuff they want me to do.
He said, okay, he'd work on it. Mark. Yeah, and welcome to all the first-time watchers. Yes, Marcia, thank you. Yeah, we have Porch Setting once a week. We do videos on Monday, Porch Setting on Wednesday, and on Friday is the news. Skip does the Village's news. and that's very interesting. It gets a lot of draw. You might want to drop in and see it. It comes on at 6 in the evening on Fridays, and the videos are the same. They come on at 6 in the evening.
I'm going through the email looking for this guy.
Okay.
I got Stephanie on here.
Says Matthew O'Malley is about a gentleman getting punched down there and dying.
Huh?
About a gentleman getting punched down here and dying.
Oh,
it was actually last week.
Yeah.
We discussed it last week.
No, well, we discussed it, but it'll be on this Friday's news.
Oh, okay. I thought you had it last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the update to that, if that's what you're asking about, is it's under investigation. Yeah, the guy was charged. He did do it. I know that somebody came on there and made a little smart remark on there about that didn't happen. Yes, it did. And yeah, I believe that there's going to be some kind of a punishment. What it's going to be, I don't know. But I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And apparently it was. I don't remember the story totally, because you got to remember, when I do the news, I move on to something else. Whatever that was up here, it's gone. So I don't remember if the guy was a villager or not. I'm thinking it was. He lived up in that area, like Polo Ridge or someplace. And yeah, drunk.
William said it made national news this Sunday.
It may have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that actually happened. He punched the guy, and the guy fell, banged his head, I think, caused a brain bleed, and the next day he died. So the guy that punched him. And the thing that was funny about the whole thing was, he was mad because the guy accidentally hit the bumper of his car, and so he hit him. After he hit him, he realized it wasn't his car. It was somebody else's car. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
And he was on the news for a hole-in-one.
Yeah, somebody told me that. I kept thinking that name seemed familiar for some reason. I couldn't. And then we got to looking, and I found that yeah, he was on the news the week before, my news the week before. His picture was on there for making a hole-in-one. And I think his picture in the hole-in-one was the reason why he was up at the bar. He was celebrating his hole-in-one that led to him punching that guy. Did I just burp?
You did.
It led to that punch.
Oh, and Matthew said, thank you. He was just letting you know because it was in the New York paper up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all true. It's not made up. It's all true. It happens here.
Yeah.
So, you know, the idea that everything is happy here and nothing ever goes bad and wrong and everything is probably 75% true, but it's that 25% you got to be aware of. And this is one of them.
Ron C says, nice soundtrack from your last video. Was that a John Lennon song? And then I had somebody else ask too. On the last video we had, it was the RV channel, I believe. And somebody asked about the song.
What song?
The song on the...
What video? I have songs on many videos.
You just had one come out.
But he didn't say it was the new one that just came out. So many people will watch a video not knowing how old it is, and they'll make comments on it. And I don't know what video they're talking about. But any of my music, first of all, on YouTube, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, you cannot use music that are monetized. They will demonetize your channel on YouTube, and YouTube may even take the video down and give you a warning. So if it was a John Lennon song, I can guarantee you it's not on my video, because you can't play that. All my music is music that I can monetize, and I pay for it. And I get all of mine from Epidemic Sound. That's the name of it. You can type it in on your Google, Epidemic Sound, and that's where I get all my music, is there.
Oh, with the Barbara Ebner said that was a great song, Coming Back from Orange Blossom.
I'm trying to think. Well, whatever it was, either. I got it off Epidemic Sound.
Yeah.
That's where I get it.
William said it would be ironic if he sentenced to Coleman for the murder.
If what?
If he was sentenced to Coleman for the murder. Yeah, that would be.
He's not going to go there. That's a federal prison down there. They don't send drunks to that's
for really bad guys. So.
Yeah, that's where mafia hitmen go and stuff down there. That's where they go. You think I'm joking, and I'm not. Go back 2 years ago, and you'll find out where a mafia hitman literally walked away from that place down there, and it was an all points bulletin through the whole state of Florida looking for this guy. They found him in Miami, that like the next day. Who knows how he got down there?
Okay, I think maybe we better wrap this up. It's 2:14. So
Okay.
we see y'all. I'm talking to you today on the porch. Next week, be aware that Porch Settin will be at 3 in the afternoon.
I'll be here at 3 o'clock having porch setting, sitting with a drunk wife, or at least a tipsy one.
Yeah.
And she'll be telling me how good the cheese was.
But I may find you a guest and stay there.
What kind of cheese was that your brother sent down here that one time? That Colby type cheese. That was some good stuff.
Actually, he got it at, what's the state that has all the
What
cheese?
was the name of it though?
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna look online and see if
He sent a whole box, so
I know that one particular cheese in there.
I know, but I don't know.
A Colby something.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I was gonna see if I can find some.
Well, like I said, he sent the whole box and it had different cheeses in it, so I don't know what was in there. But
My dad's favorite cheese was Swiss cheese, sharp. Sharp because it was real bitey. I never did care for it, but he really liked it. My favorite cheese so far has been Colby Longhorn. And I don't know that's what your brother sent was Longhorn Colby. I think that might be a brand.
that's what we used to get, was Colby Longhorn.
What he sent down here, I don't remember what it said, but it did say Colby. It was round, about that big around,
Yeah.
and it had the wax around it. And I don't know what it was.
But he brought it from Wisconsin because his,
But next time you talk to him, ask him what it was.
well, he would not know, but he can find out.
I'll look and see if I can find it.
Yeah, yeah. Jerry Bell says, why don't you have Ira Miller stop by for a guest?
He's wanted to stop by 2 or 3 times, and every time he wants to stop by, it's always something. The last time he wanted to stop by, we was out front, and that's when the microphones were goofing up and everything, and so I couldn't do it. And then the other time before that, he was going to stop by, and it was going to be like 112 degrees. And I told him, I said, if you're wanting to stop by for Porch Settin, Ira, I'm not going to do Porch Settin today because it's too damn hot. So it's been like that. But once we start going back out front, he can stop by anytime he wants. He doesn't need my permission to stop by. Actually, I prefer it that way. I prefer, for the show's content, just to drop by as a surprise.
Yeah.
Like the people from England showed up. We didn't know they were showing up. They just showed up. And then if I have to move cameras around, I figure you guys are patient enough that you'll allow me to do that and to get everybody in. One of these days, I'm going to get a better setup. I don't know exactly how. I don't want to spend all day out there setting stuff up. This is kind of simple, and I really like simple.
Yeah, and it ain't 100 degrees out here either. So
No, but if I have an extra guest, we only have 2 mics on this setup. That's all I can do.
yeah,
If we have an extra guest, we're micless. So, I'll get it figured out somehow.
yeah. Rick Anderson says, what wine goes best with cheese whiz?
You're with me. Beer. That's what wine goes best with cheese whiz. Cheese whiz and a Ritz cracker and beer.
Yeah.
Remember, first one. Okay?
There you go.
We're going to get out of here.
See you on the other side.